is Christina. Welcome to DMD Talk Show. Today we join with our guests, Anna Maria, inspirational speaker, and Anna Sesta Fox, motivational speaker. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you, beautiful.
So did you find your way here okay, or you got lost?
I'm always love to drive long distances, and I came from Midlands to London to be here, yes.
That's true, you came from Birmingham. So how was the journey?
Today was really lucky because it was a nice motorway. I can a little bit have a nice speed drive. The opposite way will be quite difficult because now it's bank holidays and I see it's a lot of traffic, and hopefully I stay long enough today in London, enjoy friends, nice lunch, and then go back to Birmingham late evening.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So what about you, Anna Maria?
Well, East London is my old stomping ground, so I used to live, South London. I used to be in East London. I used to do a lot of community work in East London, so it's very familiar. But the drive-in, London has changed so much in the last 15 years. I now live in Essex, so the drive was really an obstacle course of all the new one-ways and stuff that they do now. But I made it. It's a lovely environment. I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, so Anna Sesta Fox, tell us about you, what you do and...
Okay, I'm born in a small Baltic country, which was those days occupied by Soviet Union, and the country called Latvia. And in a life happened like those times, we don't have a lot of choices. But because we don't have a lot of choices, I was put in a professional sport and became Olympic athlete when I was only 11 years old, and took a part Moscow Olympic Games as a gymnast. Now, over the years, I take a lot of experience how to use powers which is in you to achieve a lot of goals. And this is most important to recognize everyone we have them. And now what I do, I teach people how to recognize these powers, how to encourage yourself, and the same how to achieve the goals. There is so many techniques and different kind of techniques where you need to use daily basis to achieve something and to see how to can change things to when you are having some kind of really difficult challenging times, how to overcome that. Because through the professional athlete, I get a lot of traumas, physical, mental, and overcome was quite difficult.
So what inspire that? What inspire what you do by teaching people to overcome trauma and all that?
The most important what happened last 4 years ago when I became so unwell, when 3 years I should be only in a bed, was bedbound, and went through the depression, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Was it depression that made you unwell?
No, unwell make my physical traumas, which came from gymnastics, where my joints was so damaged that physical pain locked me in a bed because I couldn't move anymore. This was lead me in a depression and mental struggle, where I always remember how flexible I was, how good I was performing, and suddenly now I'm bedbound and I cannot move and cannot do job and cannot support myself. That was when the mental health started kicking in. The same time, there was times where I recognized my own techniques which I use in athlete time lead me get out from this depression and these struggle times.
Wow, brilliant. So tell us about the challenges you face.
Every day we have challenges, and when we say we are okay, that we really are. We need to know how to maintain our challenges, how to these challenges overcome, and how a daily basis make the routines which encourage you get out of the situations which can be stressful.
Brilliant. So how did you overcome it, this challenge?
I need to say thank you. My dear daughter, she from Latvia, sent me one book which I study NLP in Moscow, where professor was sent me one small message in a book, and there was said, Anastasia, you are so powerful.
So what is this book about?
This is about mental strength and how you, with the special techniques, can achieve the goals.
So that was what you used to overcome those challenges while you were in the bed and couldn't move?
Yeah. Because you need to first of all mentally be ready to start move, not only physical. And the mental strength, it's much deeper and much powerful than physical. With the physical strength, you can't overcome all the time because you start training yourself. That is how I became an Olympic athlete. But when it's mental strength, this is difficult and this is most challenging.
Wow, so who are your role models and mentors?
My role model, it's Whitney Houston.
Oh.
Yeah, her strength with the songs, how much she covered her struggles in her own life, it's amazing. And I always look up to her and I said, if she can be on stage and sing so beautifully, knowing her struggles behind, I can do it as well.
So tell us, what are your upcoming projects you've got in the pipeline?
Oh yeah, in the pipeline there is big project, and I think this is my baby which will go in the future every year, not only this year. It's Communities Art of Life, called the project, which it's meant to bring the different kind of communities together. We're living in society with the different kind of backgrounds, cultures, religions, and everyone sitting in separate boxes. Asian community sitting in a day box, Africa Caribbean sitting in day box, Eastern Europeans in day box, English in a day box.
So you're trying to bring everybody together.
And not only together, I want to break the boxes down, strip them, if I can say, because I felt this exactly feeling 1980 Moscow Olympic Games, when in the last day, when was last performance, the boundaries was broken. So, and I know we can do it, and you can do this only through the cultural explanation, how to show who you come from, why you come from, what you do, to be understood. Otherwise, we cannot make the communication. We do not understand each other. So, and this project is exactly meant to bring absolutely different cultures together through the cultural performances, start break the boundaries down. And each year this will be bigger and bigger. This year it's small. I try out to make the message what I want to show the world. And we start from Midland, but soon we will be in London.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. We'll come back to you on Ancestor Fox. Anna Maria.
Hi.
So now, can you tell us about your growing up, educational, childhood dreams, and more?
Growing up, I was in care from the age of 2. So my childhood wasn't the greatest childhood, although it provided me with the greatest lessons.
Okay.
So from the age of 2 to 14, I moved homes 47 times.
Wow.
I was rejected from lots of different children's homes and foster parents. And really the reason for that is because I didn't know myself, and I was trying to express my pain at being constantly rejected.
So were you being difficult to look after? Is that why you're being rejected?
Yeah, I was very difficult to look after. I was a child in pain that didn't know how to express themselves, that had ADHD, that was probably very annoying, just a lot of pent-up frustration, a lot of love inside, but nowhere to put that love. So if you can imagine...
What do you mean pain?
Physical and mental pain. There were a lot of parents that I met that were quite abusive, physically and mentally, and more so. As you can imagine, you've seen all the reports about what happens in social care that's now being exploded. So all of those things were happening. And if you can imagine, through that time, there was never one consistent person in the whole of my life. I never called anybody mum. I never ever said to anybody, I love you. There weren't those opportunities for me. I literally encountered people 4 hours at a time, because that was the shifts that people used to work. So I had a lot of trouble making emotional connections with people and understanding what people wanted from me. So I was just bumbling through life trying to work it out. And obviously being in care, you don't get the same life lessons as most people get. Parents saying, what do you want to be? Where do you want to go? How do you want to be? Look after your friends. Be kind to people. I didn't get those kind of lessons. So I really...
So you learned the hard way?
I learned a lot, very hard way. And that really is the reason why I became a clinical hypnotherapist and a life coach, because I wanted to show other people, I wanted to help them recognise the stages of development. And that is, you know, for the first 42 years I spent my life surviving, literally. I didn't make any plans, I didn't have childhood dreams. There wasn't space to be able to do that.
So you didn't have any dreams growing up?
The only dreams that I had when I went to sleep at night, I used to fly a lot. I love flying. That's one of the things that the children ask me for as a hypnotherapist. Can you make me fly? I say, no, you don't pay enough. So, yeah, the kind of dreams I had, I tell you what my biggest dream was. Annie. So that's my name. To the people that know and love me, they call me Annie. And I always identified with Annie because she was ginger and I was ugly in my perception of myself.
Is it a movie called Annie?
Yeah. So I think I just used to pray, one day Daddy Warbucks will come and save me. That's all I ever prayed for. He didn't. But you know who did come along and save me?
Ooh.
She was beautiful, she was patient, she was kind, she was loving, she was caring. She knew everything about me. Her only interest was for me. She spent time discovering me and building me up, and that person was me. And I didn't meet her, me, the inner me that loves me truly, until I was possibly 49. That tells you how old I am.
So people were treating you bad growing up. You were having different kind of treatment from different homes and from...
You know what I've learned about people? I can look back and say there were a lot of cruel people in my life, and they did a lot of cruel and abusive things to me. But all that learning, I'm a child psychologist as well, and I've been an early years teacher for many years, before I was a clinical hypnotherapist. And my only mission was to understand how people thought. Why do people do what they do? And what I realised was hurt people hurt people. Yeah. And happy people make people happy.
That's correct, yeah, because it's what you have inside you give outside. So if
Absolutely.
you have love inside, you give out love. I totally agree with that.
And so when I learned that people were coming to me with their history, with their hurt, I learned to be able to step back and look more objectively and say, this person's not doing this to me, this person's actually doing it to themselves. They're trying to work out why they're hurt, and they're projecting that onto me. And that was the revelation for me. That's why people call me the happy coach, because I don't get angry, I don't get upset, I'm very patient, I'm very kind, because I understand you're coming to me with your story.
Shots, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could feel the energy when you came in.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, you know, I love this word energy, this new word energy everybody says, because when I was younger, they used to call it nuts. And now all of a sudden I have wonderful energy. I'm not nutty anymore. Isn't that lovely? It's all about people's perceptions, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you understand...
So small people were thinking it's too much.
Well, they didn't understand. And again, I was living in environments where there were a lot of hurt people. Most people that work in the caring industries, social workers, teachers, I'm going to make a really casting statement here. Most people that look after other people are carers, they're trying to heal something within themselves.
Yeah.
And they first learn how to do it through other people. And very occasionally, because I meet lots of carers, I do life achievement programs with people, and I've spoken with people within 5 minutes they're crying, because I understand that they...
That's why they have that patience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're giving all of this love outwards, but the one place where they really need to be putting that love is within, because everything is within. And it's such a hard journey for people. People spend years doing this healing, doing these healing works and going out everywhere else, when the one place they could start is with themselves, and then everything changes around them anyway. When you change what's inside you, everything around you will change.
Okay, we'll go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break. We're still joining with Anna Maria and Anna's sister Fox. So Anna Maria, can you tell us about your book, your new book, and what actually inspired this book?
So what inspired this book? This is my new book. Here you are.
What is it called?
It's called Flow, From Fear to... I bought this for you. I'm going to put an inscription in there for you. And it's really a guide to happiness. It's a guide to living your best life in flow. So I deliver life achievement programs where I empower people to let go of the past and step into the future. And from when they've done all the inner work within and become the wonderful person that they are, they then begin to live their lives in flow. And people ask me, you hear the word flow all the time, don't you? What is flow? Flow is those days when you get in your car and you drive to the supermarket, and just as all the parking spaces are filled, just as you pull in, someone pulls out and you can just pull in there. And as you go around, everything is just perfect and you can get everything that you need. You don't have to look for anything. Everything just appears. And that day is just such an easy day where you just feel easy in everything you do, the people that you meet, the coincidences that you have, the synchronicities that you meet.
Oh, yes.
And we've done this. This is what I call living in flow, when everything that is for you actually finds you. And that includes people, that includes partners, that includes relationship. But in order for you to attract what is there for you, you have to be in a receiving, allowing place to have that. And that means doing all the inner work inside. And that book is the guide to do that.
From fear to love.
That's right. The program is called Flow, and it's hypnotherapy, energy alignment, and life coaching. And so what happens is people come and they do 9 sessions with me, and during that time there may be times when they're a bit wobbly. Oh, I don't know, because when you do something new, it's quite scary, isn't it? Because it's because you don't know what's ahead. You know what's behind. That's why most people live in the past, because they know how that works. But they want something different, but they're a bit apprehensive, not scared, that's the wrong word, apprehensive about what the future holds for them. So this little book, it's not so little, I know. I didn't know how to do the sizing. So even though it's a handbag, get a bigger handbag, darling. That's what I say. It's a lovely excuse to get a bigger handbag. So anytime
So what actually inspired?
What inspired the book, writing the program, how do you get people to live their life in flow? How do you get people to live their life the path of least resistance, happiness all the time, expanded? That's what the book is. There are 14 principles which will empower you to just keep in that alignment of happiness. So I'll give you an example. One of them is wear your best clothes every day. So when I was younger, people...
So just do whatever makes you happy, is that what you mean?
Absolutely, in a nutshell. But sometimes that's just such a big statement, isn't it? Do whatever makes you happy. Yeah, but I don't know what makes me happy. I give you some guides and some tips how to make yourself happy. Avoid social media. Stop comparing yourself to others.
That's
Wear your
correct.
best clothes every day. Don't wait for that best moment. Every day is the best moment. You know, let go
Especially
of the past.
social media, because a lot of people get depressed because trying to compare themselves
Absolutely,
with
and
others.
we know it's Facebook for a reason, right? We call it Facebook, we know it's fake, but we know that people just put up the best pictures of themselves. And you say to your friends, make sure you don't put that ugly one up of me. We all do that, you know. So, not me, obviously, I'm always looking glamorous, but no, I'm joking. So the book is really about how to be easy in yourself, how to just let things happen for you, how to stop chasing things and trying so hard and thinking that you're missing out. You're not missing out. Everything that is meant for you will find you, but you have to be in that place to be able to receive it. And that will give you some tips on how you can stand that place of alignment and happiness.
Brilliant. Wow.
I hope you
so
enjoy
what
it.
do you see yourself? Yeah, I did enjoy it. I can't wait to read the book myself.
Yeah, don't laugh at the big print. I've got quite bad eyesight, so it was made for me.
I think
So why
this
did you
is
do a big print? Did you why big print?
Well, do you know what? Because I thought about... this is really, really important. The reason why it's got the big print is because I actually work with people that have disabilities, lots of different disabilities.
Okay.
And the one thing that I notice is we have lots of life achievement and empowerment programs for people that have it all, that have all the skills and resources anyway. But what about those people with learning disabilities or on the autistic spectrum or who have emotional intelligence that won't allow them to dream big? What about those people? This book and the programs I do, I also apply them to people that are a forgotten group of people, that they're just existing. People with disabilities, learning disabilities, dyspraxia, dyslexia, ADHD. They tend to get forgotten, right? People don't work with their disabilities. People tend to only work with the mainstream. We'll have life coaching. What about people with dyslexia? Don't they have life dreams as well? Don't they want to be the very best version of themselves? So really, I did the book because I wanted everybody. So don't be offended if you see the big print. Don't think, oh, does she think I'm stupid? Think, no, I'm making it more accessible to everybody.
No, I don't think anyone would think
I
that.
think this is even better because
exactly
exactly what you said. There is so many people which it's forgotten or putting behind the board. At the same time, people which came in this country as me, I came in this country 14 years ago. I couldn't speak word English. So how you can learn when it's small prints and difficult language? It's
and that's
easy
why I've used
to
very
learn.
simple language as well. I haven't used, because sometimes, the other thing is, we use all these words like diversity, inclusion, emotional
And not everyone can
intelligence.
actually understand it.
Exactly, yeah.
So I use simple language. You know what? Kindness, love, caring,
Which is
patience,
the word that people hear every day,
gratitude.
so it's easy for them to
These
understand.
are multinational. That's the language that we need to use, the
Brilliant.
language of love.
Well done for thinking about people, not just doing it for yourself and, especially for the vulnerable people. That's very nice of you to think of them. So where do you see yourself in a few years?
Wow, in a few years' time. So one of the things that I'm looking for is to do collaborations with, I want to do some more programs for men. I've had a lot of men coming to me in the last year asking me, how do I manage my emotions so that I can speak, communicate and connect with women in a positive way? That's come up a lot. And when people come to me and they ask me certain things, I tend to look and think, why is this coming to me? And emotional intelligence is huge. And for those that don't know, it just means, how can I be kinder to people? How can I love myself more so that I can love other people more? How can I be me so that you can be you? It's simple. And I want to do a lot more of these programs. I want to collaborate with people and write programs to bring the masculine and the feminine, work with each of those independently and then bring them together
to find
and
themselves.
the full unification of male and female, because that is the purpose that we are all here, is to unite, become one. And we have to start with gender differences is the obvious one, isn't it? There are lots of different divisions, but for me the gender difference is the obvious one. When men and women can communicate well, then we can create amazing things.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
So that's one of the things I'm doing. Obviously my Inspired Night, which I'm hoping that these ladies here might be excited about and think,
so what is it about?
Inspired is an event which I do once a month. The first one launches on the 12th of September in Brentwood, and it's a night where I invite 3 inspirational speakers to come and speak on the stage to speak about, if you have 10 minutes to share your wisdom with the world, what will you tell the world? And each of those 3 individuals is going to have a totally different perspective on what they'd like to share. It's also about networking, so people that may be are single and can't get out to meet people, but they want to be inspired. So there's some networking to begin with, then we have the 3 inspirational speakers, and then we have networking afterwards.
So you do this in your community?
Yeah, it's in Brentwood. It will go further, but I just want to give people an opportunity to connect with other people, because that's one of the things in my book. Build your magic circle. Get people around you that inspire you, that elevate you, that lift you.
To empower you,
Absolutely. And this is so important. If you want success.
Because it does actually help in feeling down.
100%.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, today we have a topic. And our topic is growth in plus size fashion and model. Does this provide women of all shape, size with more options and give them confidence, or does this promote obesity and weight issues?
This is big, and being professional athlete, we always straight away see these tiny skinny girls in a social media and everything, and we think they look beautiful and they look stunning, and actually they don't, because the pain what they need to go through to look that way, I don't think so it's right in the first place. So, and I always said, we need to have what we have. So, and plus size, it's not actually plus size, it's actually a real woman size. What is plus size? From which size you start to say plus size? Again, question. Any countries have a difference. Some countries where plus size it's size 8 in the UK. Other countries where it's 18, it's a different
so
size.
So to you think it's good. It's empowering women. It's giving them confidence. Is that what you mean?
I definitely, women, particularly when you get in a 30s, 40s, you need to be feminine, not skinny. Don't take me wrong, there is skinny girls and this is genetic. But if this is not you genetic, if you're looking back on your parents and on your community, and you can detect, you really can detect what is your body type genetically. So do not get against that.
I have an opinion on this.
Okay, so what's your
Being
opinion?
quite a plus-size woman myself, lovely and curvaceous, I believe that as a clinical hypnotherapist and a life coach, I have lots of women coming to me for weight issues. They come to me for hypnogastric bands and all sorts of weight-related issues. And I never work with people's weight. Weight is just a symptom of how you feel about yourself. So I believe,
Totally, yeah.
if you are going to put larger women as ambassadors for loving your body, then let them have a purpose for doing so. Let them talk about how they feel about their bodies, how they're embracing their bodies,
Brilliant.
and all of that. And so when people are looking, they stop looking at your size and they look at who you are within. It doesn't matter about your size. We need to just get away from the big size and the small size, and what we need to focus is on be you, be the very best version of you, and then you will calibrate to the size that is healthy for you.
Yeah.
Once you love yourself, because I've been larger, but when I came to love myself and do that journey within, then the weight just falls off because you're not focusing on food as a comfort, you're focusing on loving you and being the best version of you. Some coaching sessions and get them to the point of where they're talking in a positive way about their body and their journeys. That I think that would be really helpful.
Brilliant.
So you're not just saying this is okay, you're saying they recognise that they could be doing more and this is their journey.
That is what I'm saying. That is real woman, because each community have different kind of sales gaps. Each community have different kind of standards as well. But we're comparing the wrong way through the pictures, through the Barbie girls, through the social media, and this is wrong.
All right, thank you. It's very lovely having you guys. Just quickly before we go, where can people find you on social media, Anna Maria, if they want to follow you up for your, inspirational, programs you organized and your community event as well? If they want to be part of it, maybe one of the viewers, can you just...
Yeah, you can come along. So the event is on the 12th of September. It's at the Essex Arms. But if you go to Anne-Marie Wickham, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, blah-de-blah-de-blah, all of those social places. I'm very sociable, so you'll find me there. And it's got all my contact details there. Yeah, that's how we do it now. That's how we connect, isn't it?
Yeah, and I have a website, www.artoflife.com.uk, where you can find all information about my upcoming events, information about me and how to contact me as well. So, and in our social media, Anastasia Fox.
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I do not use Instagram, but Facebook, it's main.
Do you have Instagram?
AnneMarieWickham.com. I forget all these things that you've got to say. I'm so used to, I connect with people, real people, I don't do that. But it's AnneMarieWickham.com, it's easy.
Facebook and Instagram.
And that's my website
Twitter?
as well,
Okay.
AnneMarieWickham.com.
All right, it's nice having you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
We're blessed, thank you.
That's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, bye for now.